Ladies and gentlemen, James Spilling here once again for those that love sound, music and stuff. As it turns out, it's a stuff day today. I'm going to do a shootout between two string libraries. They happen to be from the same company, Spitfire Audio. They are Chamber Strings and also Studio Strings Pro. Now, the reason I decided to do this was because a while back I recorded sort of an easy listening jazz number of mine with some fabulous session musicians. And I always had a hankering to add strings to them. Now I can't afford a string orchestra, so I thought I'd make one. So I'm going to show you what I've done. And to make it slightly more interesting, I'm going to shoot out between these two libraries. Oh, and also I've re-recorded the vocal just to make it, again, slightly more interesting for you guys to watch. But anyway, I will let you know which I prefer by the end of this. So I'll show you what I've done in the string arrangement. But for those that don't want to listen to me rabbit on, you can of course go to the minutes and seconds down below, full track, and you can skip through all the nonsense that I'm just about to spout. Should we do this? It's a mixed screen. What are you doing, James? Well, I just thought I'd show you what I've already got. So this is the recordings from the session. So that's the vocal that I've literally just recorded this morning. Here in blue, we've got the kit, drums, bass, blue, piano, bass in red, guitar in yellow. These are my strings, and this is what I did. And of course, these are the buses and these are the reverbs. So without further ado, let's go into the edit. I'll show you what I did. It would help if I put my headphones in, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? What I will do is I'll just play you a little bit of the rhythm section without any strings so you can hear what we're dealing with. So there we go. Beautiful playing from all of them. Oh, it's just so good. Anyway, a little bit of my vocal. Go on. Everyone knows what goodbye is. Yeah, goodbye. Now, let me show you my process. So for those that know me, I like things easy. I like to just go there and then split it up. This is no exception. I've gone there. If I just explode this, I've sort of gone there and sort of come up with a 5-part harmony because I just want that sort of lush, ballady sound. Does that make sense? Anyway, this is original strings, and for cheapest chips, I think it's like 29 euros or something. Now, all I've done is I've put it on strings long. You've got all these goodies here. Let me just play this for you with original strings. Yeah, and up here as well. There you go. So what I've done is I've split these into 5 parts, as you can see. Now, I've added little bits here and there just to make the voice leading a little bit nicer, and possibly, if I were to ever get proper musicians to play this, slightly nicer to play. And I've used Studio Strings Pro because they have a Divisi section. Now, I didn't want the huge expanse of like 16 players and 16/8/8 or whatever it is, 16/12/8/8. I wanted intimate. So I've got Divisi sections on Studio Pro where you've got 4, 3, 3, and 3/3/3, I think. That's what I've done. So I've gone 4 firsts, 3 seconds, 3 other seconds, 3 violas, and 3 cellos. I know. Why have you got two violin parts for violin twos? why not? Because I wanted a 5-part harmony. Now, chamber strings is the same. It's also 4-3-3-3-3-3, which is partly why I wanted to use chamber strings as well. Now, the difference between chamber strings and studio strings is simply where it was recorded. So chamber strings recorded in the big hall at Air Lyndhurst, and studio strings recorded in, I believe, Studio 1 of the same venue. I mean, I've been very lucky enough to sing at both, and they're huge differences. Huge. I mean, obviously the hall is just reverb bouncing around forever, and Studio 1, it's tight. You know, it's not much room sound. There is room sound, but anyway. So I'm going to show you with studio strings, and I'll compare the two afterwards. So this is studio strings. All I've done on both is I've gone for a performance legato. I've gone lazy. Now, if I was basically being paid to write a string arrangement virtually, I would of course use more articulation, but I want it quick, so I've gone performance legato, and I hope for the best because it's an easier comparison. So look, I've got performance legato, violins 1, 4, violins 2, and so on and so forth. I've kept it midway between the close mics and the far mics, exactly the same on chamber strings, so I'll show you that in a minute. Let me just split these apart. Right, let me just play you these. I'm just going to play you a bit of violin 1. Now you can see expression, vibrato and dynamics moving around. What I've done is I've mapped it to my MIDI controller now. I'm a little bit weird, but my easiest MIDI controller that I use is a tractor controller, because it has these things on it, and I wanted those things. In the days when I tried a bit of tractoring, I got this, and this is by far the most useful piece of tractor kit that I've still got. Anyway, so that's my controller mapper. So I then bounced them all down here. Let me play them for you. Good. So that's the studio strings. Now, let me get up the chamber strings for you. So these are the chamber strings. Exactly the same mic position for close and far. Again, I've mapped the dynamics and expression, and again, they are the same amount of players. So it's 4-3-3-3-3. Again, I just copied and pasted the tracks. And again, I bounce them down. And again, here they are. So I think the easiest thing to do is go to my mixer. And here you go. Here are my chamber strings in the, is that turquoise? Is it turquoise? And in the sort of off brown are my studio strings. Now, I think the easiest thing to do is play you a bit of this track and just put in different string libraries. So this is without any of them. This is the rhythm section. Now I'm going to play studio strings. Chamber strings. I mean, let me just explain what I've done with them both. So the big differences are that they're recorded in different rooms, but because I want this sort of, this almost Hollywood ballad string section, raised up in the theatre behind the singer. I have put it through reverb. I have put it through the same reverb. I've given it exactly the same processing. I've put it through a concert hall reverb. And there's not much difference. So I've realized in editing, this is today's me, or rather tomorrow's me in comparison to the one before. I've changed my shirt. But in editing this vid, I realized actually those comparisons are not helpful, because basically what I have ended up doing is making studio strings sound like I wanted chamber strings to sound like. So I've actually manipulated them to sound how I wanted. So that is why they sound so similar. So I think the most helpful thing for me to do, today's me, is to give you the comparison of what these string libraries are in the track, but without extra reverb. So I'm getting rid of this reverb on both. I'm getting rid of the imaging that I have on both. And I'm getting rid of the send reverb that I have on both, the concert hall reverb. And I'm just going to put them in solo for now. Hopefully this will be more of this is how different they are, or not so different. But anyway, I hope you will hear the difference on these ones. Fingers crossed. Anyway, so I'm going to give you a little section, just the strings, and then I'll give you the full track. So these are the strings. We're going to start with studio strings. Chamber strings. Studio. So I hope you can hear that certainly the studio strings, that you can hear more detail. Certainly the cello sounded so much more in your face in the studio strings. I'll just play that bit again. They sound like they're in the room, in a room. Now this is the hall with chamber strings. Yeah, I mean the chamber strings are they just feel sort of warmer. So this is the full track without the baked in reverb. Pure string libraries versus one each other. Here we go. So, yeah, you can hear the difference. Surely. Right, let's put the imaging back in. You'll hear the same. It'll be the same. Here we go. Chamber, studio strings. Chamber. Yeah, so basically I've made studio strings sound like chamber strings. So my apologies for the first bit, but I hope you can hear the difference. So look, chamber strings, lovely for that warmth feeling. And studio strings, bit more bite, bit more detail, bit more studio. Anyway, back to yesterday's me. So yeah, I mean, I like the fact that even 4-3-3-3 still sounds like a bigger orchestra than it actually is. But okay, I love both, but I'm going to prefer on this occasion the chamber strings, simply because it's got more of that sort of lush romantic ballad sound. So this is Everyone Knows, with me singing the new recording that I recorded this morning, but keeping the same fab recordings from my original recording from the session musicians. And I'm going to use chamber strings. So enjoy. Everybody knows the look of those in love again. Everybody knows that lingering smile. And while they revel in its charm, they forget about the harm it has done. They lose themselves in amorous flight. But everyone knows that love can die tonight. Everyone knows what goodbye is. A tear for moving on. Everyone knows what to cry is. When they're gone. If anybody knew this break into the rift in the status quo, they're in the know about heartache. Everyone knows how he loved her. Heaven knows he fell for someone who he knew would cast that spell that everyone knows so well. Everybody heals. Does anybody feel that it's better to have loved and lost than never loved at all? Now everybody knew how much he loved her, lost her to the world. Now everybody else can know that girl that somebody once knew. Everyone wants to love someone sometime. Now everyone knows mine. Everyone knows mine. So what have we learned? Basically, you can make Studio Strings Pro sound like chamber strings. But I don't think you can make chamber strings sound like studio strings, if that makes any sense. So anyway, if you like this, give it a like. And if you like what I do, please subscribe and you will be notified of anything else I do in the future. Anyway, stay safe, stay well. See you soon. Bye.